Hello, my name is Dylan Arcolano, and today this will be my art history interview. May I have your name, please?
Hi, I'm Will, and I'm fondly called Wilfredo. That's my screen name. But
Okay.
my legal name is actually Wilfredo Hanan.
All right. How long have you been filming for?
I've been doing filmmaking for the past 15 years.
All right. Would you give me a brief history on that? How did you start filming?
Actually, I was a computer engineer before I started venturing to film. Um, After working for Microsoft for the past years, I decided to pursue my dreams and my passion of filmmaking. So I went to New York to study film, and then I decided to go back to my home country, Philippines, to do filmmaking, and that's how I started. My first film is called Compound in 2006.
Okay. All right. So without further ado, we'll just move on to the 5 questions. The first question being, what do you see as the role of visual arts in society today, particularly in your profession?
A lot, because visual art is basically what I'm doing right now. It's capturing different images, putting them together, and making a film. So, when you say visual arts for filmmaking, it's the whole gamut of it. You make use of everything that you have to do the film. But for the society today, it's very important because a lot of the stuff we do now, especially the youth, is so reliant on visual arts or what they see on their phones and on the internet and in the movies. So it's very much impacting everybody in the world today.
Okay. With new communications and media technologies made available to the public, do you find that to be a positive or negative thing in your field industry?
It's both positive and negative. I saw an internet question before, or an internet statement where it said that the current media right now is why do we have to show films in a small device or like in the internet? Why not watch it in the theater and all that stuff? So it's a big debate, especially for filmmakers like me. Like I would love to have people watch my movies in a big screen, but with the new technology, with the internet, YouTube, Instagram, and Vine, and all this stuff, it makes everything accessible to everybody, and it's not getting paid. So for the business itself, it's a little bit of a challenge because artists and visual artists is to be able to do their work economically. But also at the same time, with the new technology that we have, or the internet and all this stuff happening with the media, the visual artists or the filmmakers have a bigger venue for their art. So it's a toss coin of what would you want to do.
Right. Any kind of filming or visual art techniques that are frequently used in the industry that you are in?
Well, there are classic ways of doing filmmaking. So one of my favorites right now is Michael Haneke, because he's using classical style of filmmaking. He's bringing it back. And it's becoming sexy again. Just to quote Justin Timberlake, but if you notice, since the Blair Witch Project and all this stuff, that handheld, the small cameras, and doing digital work, a lot of this is became a trend, or people are actually using it to create attention, to create a different set of style. Paranormal activity is one of them. So the current, let's say, just Hollywood style of filmmaking is actually using it now too. But for me, people like Michael Haneke, who's recently won an Oscar and all that stuff, can makes the classical filmmaking accessible again or trendy.
Okay. Who is one of your favorite visual artists and or one of your favorite styles of visual art?
There's a lot. I grew up watching sci-fi films like you, So one of my favorites, and one that gets stuck in my head, or even watch until now, even if I've seen it like for so many times, is actually the movie Jaws. So, and for me, why I watch it, because it created that whole tension. I'm afraid of water until now because of it. So for me, that's one of the classical films that, and Steven Spielberg and all these people that done a lot of good films and who's transformed from sci-fi to other dramatic films like Schindler's List and all that stuff. It's one of my favorites. But I'm also growing as a filmmaker, so I mentioned Michael Haneke is one of my favorites right now. And the whole Mexican filmmakers, Inarritu and all of them, it's a big influence for me. I like what they're doing.
Final question: Have any famous films or pieces that you've seen over the years, has that influenced your creative process?
One of the films that I watched recently is called Gravity. It's actually so powerful for me because I came from a Buto background. Buto is a Japanese dance form where everything seems to be so slow, the movement is so slow, and the visuals is very organic. And Gravity for me showed a lot of that element and a lot of the metaphors or a lot of the visual elements. Like for example, when Sandra Bullock was flying all over the space, nothingness with only us, a line of cord attaching her to the space shuttle or whatever they're riding in, signifies a lot of birth and a lot of being in an embryo and all that stuff. So for me, that film is visually entertaining and also emotional. And that's what we should try to watch in terms of how we see film, because emotion is something that cannot be just created. It's something we have to feel in every frame, in everything that we do as a filmmaker. That's my point.
Thank you very much for answering the questions. Everybody, this was Will Fredo, director. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and good luck.
Nice seeing you looking gravity.
Open the bar! I was waiting for you to say open the bar. Okay, na. Additional